Senator Hughes, thanks for the time. Let's talk about this Facebook bill, the social media bill that you introduced, Senate Bill number 12. These sites are all privately owned, as you know, and in the Senate analysis of the bill, something struck me. It said under federal law, social media sites are protected from liability. However, under the same section of federal law, it says states are expressly allowed to regulate websites so long as that those regulations are consistent with federal law. Help me read between the lines here, Senator Hughes. Is there a legal hole where this might actually apply?
Jason, that's exactly right. Section 230, the Communications Decency Act, that's the federal statute that gives great protection, too much protection to these social media companies. But even under that law, there is a path for states to follow. Most states haven't tried it or have gotten it wrong. We believe this bill threads the needle, gets us past that federal limitation, and allows us to protect Texans and protect their right to free speech. So yes, we believe this bill does it. We believe this bill is going to be the model for the nation.
Let's talk about the other side of this, what critics are talking about, because I've watched as well over the years, over the past 20 years, as Texas Republicans passed tort reform over the last 20 years or so here, trying to stop what conservatives call abusive and frivolous lawsuits. It seems like, though, if this passes, wouldn't this clog up the courts as well with people who might be upset about being kicked off a certain platform?
Jason, if this bill passes, every Texan is going to have the right to go to court and to hold Facebook, Twitter, YouTube, to hold them accountable. So you bet. And that's part of the free market. And so when Texans have the right to assert their rights, we believe these companies are going to quickly respond and stop censoring Texans' free speech.
But as far as filling up the courts with lawsuits, it seems like this one has the potential really to pack the courts with legal action.
If these social media companies continue to impose their narrow worldview and to silence Texans, you bet there's going to be a lot of cases.
On Friday, you filed an election integrity bill that does a number of things. I want you to kind of explain this and the necessity for it, Senator, because we've heard from so many state leaders who say that the elections ran fine here last November.
We still have work to do, and there's a few elements we're looking at in particular. We know from looking at the records from Department of Public Safety and also from the feds that we still have many non-citizens. Believe it or not, on Texas voter rolls, we still have people who are not citizens. You may have seen down in Harris County where the district clerk wanted to send a mail ballot application to every voter, to able-bodied voters, to voters who were there. That's not allowed in Texas, and this law is going to make that clear.
You mentioned that there are a number of non-citizens on the rolls. How many are we talking about? And are you actually talking about the state actually wiping people off the rolls?
So there are thousands, we believe. We're trying to get the final numbers, and that's part of what this bill will do. Empower the DPS to communicate with the counties, to look at the records. There are procedures in place now, but they're not very tight, and in many counties, they're being ignored. So that's got to be fixed.
Senator Hughes, we appreciate the time.
Thanks for having me.